in for another day of the week. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. And oh, baby, got a jam-packed show for you guys today. 5 total picks across the NBA and the NHL. Then we're going to get into some news topics of the day. Of course, the Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Will he or won't he? Jimmy G goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, and a bit of a futures bet for the NBA that I wanted to discuss that I think is something worth placing your money on. So coming off a 2-2 performance there yesterday, so a losing effort by myself. I think I can do a little bit better than that, but winning show overall. Ian goes 2-0-1, so we're going to try to carry that winning energy by Ian into today. Flying solo here today, so we'll get you in and out fairly quickly. So that is enough small talk. Let's get right in to the action. We're going to start things off in the NBA up in Toronto, where the Denver Nuggets are in town. I think a beautiful number on the Nuggets here. I'm going to take them as a small underdog plus 1.5 over at BetMGM this morning. So the Raptors aren't hanging with good competition. Check this out. Their last win versus a quality opponent was well over a month ago on February 5th versus the Greasy Grizzlies. Fairly light schedule for the Raptors in that span, but when they have played good teams, they've lost to them. Recent losses to the Clippers, Lakers, Nuggets, and Cavs. Decent job beating up on bad teams, but a tough time keeping up with the good ones, and you can't ignore these numbers. A lot of ugly ones here for the Raptors. Check them out over the last 10 games. 29th in EFG shooting percentage, dead last in free throw attempt rate, 25th in opponent EFG percentage, and dead last in opponent three-point shooting percentage. And check the Raptors out in the fourth quarter. This is just a big fat fade of the Raptors. 4 fourth quarters are crushing the Raptors. This is a matchup between teams ranked 6th in the Nuggets and 26th in the Raptors in fourth quarter point margin over the last 10 games. Some recent fourth quarter lowlights for Toronto. Lakers outscored them by 15. The Nuggets got them by 10. The Wizards by 7. And the Cavs by 9. Give me the Nuggets plus 1.5 up in Toronto. All right, next up, Anthony Davis makes his return to New Orleans. There won't be a dry eye in the building for the Anthony Davis revenge game. I think another beautiful number here. Give me the Lakers plus 1 in this one. LA building a bit of an identity here lately as a strong defensive team. Last 10 games, 2nd in opponent EFG shooting percentage and 3rd in points allowed per 100 possessions. Pelicans in the bottom half of the league in each of those categories in that span. And consistency is a major issue for the Pelicans. So they're coming off a win in their most recent game. Congratulations for beating the Portland Trailblazers. But they do have the 5th worst record in the NBA against the spread after a win. They've been especially bad in that spot lately at 2-8 ATS. The Lakers have been finishing strong. They seem to get better as the game goes on. Check this out. Last 10 games, 5th in second half point margin compared to 26 for the Pelicans, and some sharp shooting in the fourth quarter here for the Lakers. 5th in fourth quarter effective field goal shooting percentage over the last 10 games. Give me the Lakers plus 1. All right, next up, a first quarter bet for you guys. Kind of a fun game here. Sneaky under the radar. Fun game, perhaps. We have the Nets in OKC to take on the Thunder. I'm going to take the Thunder to cover the first quarter spread, coming in at -0.5 point. Even money. And the juice on that one. So some horrible starts on the road for Brooklyn. Oh, my God. So they've gone 9 straight road games where they failed to outscore their opponent in the first quarter. Some really pathetic starts here, including 4 separate times where they were outscored by double digits in the opening frame. Now, maybe a coincidence here, but this pattern coincides with the Kyrie Irving trade. They have a -10.9 first quarter point margin on the road since trading Kyrie. And you dig into the numbers specific to the first quarter, and they absolutely support the Thunder here. Last 10 games, regardless of location of the game, 9 versus dead last in first quarter point margin, 13 versus 29 in EFG percentage, 15 versus 27 in opponent EFG, and some especially lazy defense by Brooklyn in the opening quarter. They ranked dead last by a wide margin in opponent offensive rebound percentage. That same span of 10 games in the first quarter. Give me the Thunder! First quarter minus half a point. Next up, we move out to Portland for a late one. We got the Blazers playing host to the New York Knicks, and I'm going to take those Knicks as a 2.5-point favorite. So significant edges all over the court here for the Knicks. Most notably, a significant edge in the paint. Expect New York to dominate on the inside in this one. Portland is 27th in points allowed in the paint and 28th in opponent offensive rebound percentage over the last 10 games. In that same span, New York 5th in offensive rebound percentage. Overall, this is a matchup between teams who rank 2nd in the Knicks and 27th, the Trailblazers, in rebounds per 100 possessions over the last 10 games. Portland is also playing some dog shit defense right now. Last 10 games, 26 in opponent EFG, 29 in points allowed per 100 possessions. And the Blazers, this is not a team that plays up to the competition by any means. They are a horrible bet as an underdog. On a stretch right now that's seen them go 4-15 against the spread in their last 19 games as a dog. New York, meanwhile, not a road favorite very often, but in this spot this season, 6-1 against the spread as a favorite on the road. Give me the Knicks! Minus 2.5 tonight in beautiful Portland. All right, we swing things back to the East Coast for our lone NHL pick of the night. We got a pretty sexy matchup here, and in this sexy matchup, I absolutely love New Jersey. Woo! Yeah, give me the Devils minus 135 with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 10. The Lightning have hit a bit of a rough patch here, maybe their roughest patch of the season so far. They are 2-7 in their last 9 games. Those wins have come against Chicago and Philadelphia. Not exactly serious contenders. Rough March for their goalie as well, Andrei Vasilevskiy, expected to be in between the pipes tonight. A 3.99 goals against average. Different story for New Jersey Devils on an incredible run at home. 9-1 in their last 10 at home, and they are absolutely dominating. Some key analytics: last 10 games, first in expected goals, 4%. First in high danger chances, 4%. Fourth, Corsi, 4%. And third in shot differential. Tampa Bay, 15th or worse in each of these categories, and some ultra-disciplined hockey by the Devils here lately. Last 10 games, the least amount of time in the NHL spent in the penalty box, just 1 shorthanded goal allowed over their last 10 games. For what it's worth, Tampa Bay has allowed 9, so a nice special teams advantage potentially too for the New Jersey Devils. Yeah. Bit of a CTP sweetheart. The New Jersey Devils. News from Adam Schefter. Breaking news here. Dolphins and Raheem Mostert reached an agreement today on a 2-year deal per his agent. Mostert good in spurts. 10 to 12 carries a game, maybe. Not bad. Not really a lead back, though, but yeah, not a bad guy to have in that huddle. Okay, guys, so 5 total bets today. If you're looking to tail any of that action or fade it, the choice quite simply is yours. As a consenting adult, I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. We got an exclusive offer just for Vegas Insider fans. Sign up at BetMGM using the promo code VIBonus1100, and you will get up to $1,100 paid back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. That's VIBonus1100, all one word, no spaces, for a first bet offer of $1,100 paid back in bonus bets. If you don't win, just use that code. Once again, VI bonus 1100. Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. It's a popular time of year for sports betting. March Madness. I guess it's going tonight with the play-ins. A lot of people will be opening a new sports book. Some people opening a sports book for the first time. This is a way us bettors can get a little something back. These bonus codes. So check things out over at BetMGM and take advantage of that today. Okay, so guys, so let's kick around a couple of topics here. Of course, NFL and something for the NBA here as well. So free agency kicked off yesterday. Some big signings. The Eagles getting gutted a little bit. My Miami Dolphins go with Mike White as their backup quarterback. Not exactly who I wanted, but I am willing to admit that the coaching staff and the front office of the Miami Dolphins probably know a little bit more about football than I do. Mostert, 7.6 million plus some incentives there. Okay, so the Jets, will he or won't he Aaron Rodgers? It looked like yesterday he was. Trey Wingo, I think it was, over at ESPN, put out a tweet saying that it was imminent. Nothing has happened since. A lot of Jets players, the young guys on that team, tweeted out how excited they were, and you can see the smile on my face. One of them tweeted, "That might really backfire on these guys." And Tito has informed me that Trey Wingo is no longer with ESPN. He works for Pro Football Network. Okay, so yeah, Aaron Rodgers here. The Jets, they're really putting all their eggs into one basket here. You know, reports coming out this morning that they're going all in, trying to bring Alan Lazard in, one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite teammates. Getting a little desperate, don't you think? New York, all your eggs in the one basket for a quarterback who's going to turn 40 in December, a guy who's really underperformed in big games here recently, a guy who was 17th in quarterback rating this past season. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers really wants to go there. This is something that I've talked about all last week. What exactly is the appeal of the New York Jets to Aaron Rodgers? You know, I think maybe he's getting cold feet about potentially leaving Green Bay. This is something he's gotten cold feet on before. He just says, I'm comfortable here. I'm going to stick around. So maybe he's going to make that same decision. So what happens with the Jets if Aaron Rodgers says no? Like I said, they're putting all their eggs into one basket. They lost Mike White yesterday, which maybe in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal because he's not a starter, but he's a decent backup, right? So Jimmy G off the board as well. You got to think maybe that would have been a part of a fallback plan potentially for the Jets. You know, Robert Saleh, his connection to San Francisco, spent quite a bit of time in the locker room with Jimmy G, so some familiarity there. Maybe that would have been a fallback, but if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, here's who's available via free agency right now: Jacoby Brissett, Teddy Bridgewater, Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew, Baker Mayfield. All decent options for a backup. You could even make the argument some high-end backups there. But this fan base is expecting a major splash, and they're going to be so disappointed if they go into training camp with a quarterback room filled with Zach Wilson and a couple other backup quality quarterbacks. So what are they going to do if Aaron Rodgers says, you know what, I'm going to stay in Green Bay? And no one should be shocked if he does that. He's done this before. So the Jets, they got to make a splash. I said last week, why aren't the Jets in on Lamar Jackson? This is a super desperate team. No, Lamar Jackson's not exactly the picture of health. And it's not like he's going to give them some type of a discount. But if they're looking to make a splash, they absolutely should go in on Lamar Jackson. And maybe a plan after that. Matthew Stafford apparently on the board as well. The trade block, kind of. They'd be happy to trade him. The Rams, they're looking to start over a little bit now. He's not exactly the picture of health either, but The Jets have put themselves in a really bad spot. All their eggs in the one basket. When they met with Aaron Rodgers last week, they should have given him some sort of a deadline. He's not coming off an MVP season. 17th in quarterback rating. He's turning 40. They should have said, can you let us know by Sunday what you want to do before free agency gets going? Can you let us know what you want to do? But they didn't do that. And those, I don't know if these young guys on the Jets tweeting out how excited they are. Maybe that backfired a little bit. Maybe Rodgers seen that and he didn't like it. Who knows? So other big quarterback news out of the NFL, Jimmy Garoppolo. San Francisco been trying to run him out of town for a couple seasons now. They officially have run him out of town. He signs with the Raiders. Las Vegas, 40-1 to win the Super Bowl, by the way. That's the 17th best odds. And a lot of people said, well, you know, this is kind of like a sideways move, replacing Derek Carr with Jimmy Garoppolo. I wouldn't even argue that it's a sideways move. I think it's less than that. And I think that the Raiders are worse off at the quarterback position by bringing Jimmy Garoppolo. And Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy who always gets injured. You're never going to get 17 games out of this guy. He comes out of a system, a quarterback-friendly system with a great offensive line, a great defense, which made him look better because we know everyone's always using win-loss records as if that's a quarterback stat. So as a result, the good coaching, good offensive line, good defense, Jimmy Garoppolo has a great win-loss record. But I don't think he's better than Derek Carr by any means. And like I said, there's the injury concerns there. So if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm very disappointed. Like I said, San Francisco have been trying to run this guy out of town for a couple of years now, trading all that draft capital to get Trey Lance. He gets injured too, so they got to keep Jimmy G around. So Vegas, what they got to do? Yeah, they got Jacoby Myers, big deal. Who cares? Decent third receiver, maybe. So they really got to solidify their backup position there because Jimmy's not going to stay healthy all season, and they got to get better defensively too, and a better offensive line. Josh McDaniels, I don't know if he's long for Las Vegas. I don't know if he's made to be a head coach in the NFL. I think he could be back this time next year grabbing Belichick's coffee in New England. So, yeah, they were a super desperate team. You look at this stat here. Check this out. This is from Warren Sharp, by the way. Performance on passes thrown 20-plus yards over the last 3 years. Look at all these quarterbacks. Look who's down at the bottom there in terms of success rate and EPA per attempt. Jimmy Garoppolo. Talk about a guy who was protected by the system that he was in. My God, dead last out of all these guys. Look at all the people ahead of him. Andy Dalton, some guy I don't even recognize. Justin Fields is here. Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray. Oh, look at that guy way at the top up there. Tua, baby. Oh, that's Drew Lock, who performed better on passing plays of 20-plus yards, better than Jimmy G. Look at Derek Carr close to the top as well. So Derek Carr, you know, he's kind of one of these guys who's flirted with being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL at times. You know, he's not very consistent, but the amount of turmoil that he endured during his time with the Raiders, the John Gruden bullshit, and all the collapses this year. Some of that's on him, absolutely. But by no means is Jimmy G any type of upgrade. Moving on to the NBA, a futures bet that I want to throw out to you guys. I think this is worth placing, so let me break this down a bit. So as you know, if you watch the show, I've been a bit of an advocate for the Los Angeles Lakers here lately. It looked like their season was going to fall apart multiple times, especially with LeBron's latest injury, but that hasn't been the case. And you can get the Lakers right now minus 110 to make the playoffs. Now, not something you go huge on, just a 1 or 2 unit bet, but I recommend making it. So check out the Lakers right now. They're currently in 9th place in the Western Conference, right behind Dallas and the T-Wolves, just 2.5 games out of 6 the conference. If you get to 6, that guarantees a spot in the playoffs because you get to avoid playing. But check out the Lakers' remaining schedule here. 14 games remaining. And talk about a cupcake schedule. 10 of these games are versus teams that are below 500. You Get New Orleans tonight. The Rockets should be a cakewalk. The Mavericks, who I'll talk about momentarily, absolutely stumbling. Orlando. Phoenix is good, yeah. Friskiness from OKC, yeah. But they got the Rockets again. The Jazz looking forward. The Jazz are pretty good. They're frisky. Let's be fair there. But this is a pretty easy schedule. 14 games remaining. 10 of them are versus teams that are below 500. Check out Dallas Mavericks. I think that they can leapfrog them. Dallas, 2-9 in their last 11 games. How's that Kyrie Irving trade looking, by the way? So things don't look very good in Dallas. You got to wonder what Luka's thinking about his long-term future there. Kind of shades of LeBron's first 8 years with the Cavaliers. They weren't able to build a winner around him, so we'll see what happens there. Minnesota, they're going to try to leapfrog as well. They're a bit up and down, but they got a really tough stretch coming up. The T-Wolves, they got the Celtics, Raptors, Knicks, Hawks, Kings, Phoenix, and Lakers on deck. LeBron might be back in time for that one. And also Golden State. That's a team, they're in 5th right now. Same record as the 6th place team, the Clippers. They got the tiebreaker over them. Golden State, 8 remaining games on the road. They are somehow 7-26 on the road this season. How are they that pathetic on the road? I know a lot of missed games by Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, but the defending champs, 7-26 on the road. So I think things look pretty good here for the Lakers. Developing a bit of a defensive identity. The shooting needs to get better, especially the three-point shooting. But -110 to make the playoffs, I think that's a pretty good look. Now, of course, at any moment, Anthony Davis could end up in a body cast because we know his bones are made out of chalk. But let's try to be optimistic here. That's a bet I placed this morning. I recommend checking that out. I also recommend checking out the Vegas Insider app. Let me tell you a little bit about it. You can shop for the best odds, find props, features, and plenty more with the app. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. All right, we had some pick submissions here. This morning, let's check out a few. Matty Puppy Sports, I think, was one of them. Matty Puppy Sports, weighing in. Big trend better here. He likes Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Say that right? Corpus Christi? -4. A&M returns all of their starters from last season and 3rd year in a row in the tournament. Missouri State there pulled 2 upsets to win off the tournament. Texas A&M Corpus Christi is the better team, winning their conference with a 14-4 record. So yeah, Matty Puppy Sports. He's on that -4 for Texas A&M CC. We have one from producer Tito here as well. And I must point out, he didn't include the juice on this prop. I'm not a fan of. McCall Bridges, he likes him to have over 2.5 threes. He's unquestionably Brooklyn's best player, and he's hit this number in 4 of his last 6 games. He points out some defensive numbers there for OKC. They're very bad at defending the three-pointer. I gotta tell you, Tito's a sore loser. You see, he finishes off his tweet there by saying, "Screw Devin Booker." Of course, we know Tito recommended to our viewers to hail his pick, Devin Booker over 2.5 threes last night. Booker ended up with 0 on 2 3-point attempts. Pre-show meeting, he called him about every name in the book. He wasn't too happy about that. Okay, Tito in our little chat here saying that prop is available at +105. Schefter tweeting now, with the Jets closing in on deals for Alan Lazar, another wide receiver expected. Coming days, Randall Cobb, something. I don't know, man. What do you guys think Aaron Rodgers is going to do? I think the longer this goes, I think the least likely he is to go to the Jets. They came out of those meetings pretty damn confident, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. You know, we see the player movement quite a bit in the NFL and sports in general, but I think when you're almost 40 years old, moving's very inconvenient. Sure, having a shit ton of money helps that. Especially moving from Green Bay to New York. Aaron Rodgers, a bit of a prickly guy. had a few. I thought Las Vegas would have been the spot for Aaron Rodgers, but maybe he's going to stay put. And the Jets could be in a lot of trouble here, really putting all of their eggs directly into one basket. So hope we get some sort of clarity on that. Okay, guys, it's now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com. Your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today's featured expert is Will Rogers, who is on a 10-3 all-sports run and has a 3-0 record over the last 3 days. Nick Parsons is also hot in the NBA, going on a 7-1 win streak. Steven Over hits 7 straight college hoops winners and 3 straight NHL winners. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for tournament action plus NBA and NHL best bets. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. Okay, so a lot of big shows coming up the rest of the week. Kevin Rogers will be with me tomorrow to break down some play-in action. Of course, our regular NBA, NHL. We're going to have our official World Series winner picks with Kevin tomorrow. Then Ian is going to be with me for the first day of March Madness. We're going to be absolutely loaded for that show. In the second half of that show, we'll also be previewing the UFC pay-per-view that's going down on Saturday in jolly old England. And then a similar show on Friday, all in on March Madness once again. So we thank you very much for watching today's show. Best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!